Alright, Shalom. I want to start off as always by giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Baruch Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Baruch Hashem, Rachakodash. Double Lennox, to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who rule well. And a sincere Shalom to all you Akim who pushing this word around the globe in faith and in truth and in sincerity. So as always, I want to start off by saying that we are the real Hebrew Israelites. The true Israelites, these so-called Negroes, Latinos, Hispanics, Native Americans, West Indians, Jamaicans, Haitians, Dominicans, all the islands there, and you West Africans, so on and so forth. We are the true descendants of the man in the Bible who was named Israel, and this also applies to anybody who may look like any of the other nations. But if your seed line by your father's side goes back to the man in the Bible named Israel, then you too are an Israelite, no matter what you look like today, because Israel has been scattered amongst all peoples, so now we're going to look like all peoples. But the true test is through the Spirit to see if you are an Israelite, because the Spirit beareth witness that we are the true sons of Israel. So if you believe in the names of Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, and you believe 100% in full truth, which is the doctrine of the King James 1611 Bible, which is being pushed predominantly by the men of Great Millstone, then you too are an Israelite. So, in this lesson, I was just watching a video from RT about climate change, and I found some interesting things, both in watching this little segment and also reading the comments. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the segment, and then I'm going to get into the comments, and I'll bring out some scriptures, and Lord willing it's edifying. So I'll just play this video.
A further call to action, a group of scientists say that the world is on the brink of ecological disaster. It was accompanied by a petition too, signed by 11,000 researchers and academics. Well, the stark warning comes in the US-based Bioscience journal. Its authors claim the report got the backing of thousands of scientists in 153 different countries. However, when people online noticed a number of fictional characters among the signatories, it was decided to block the list for further screening. All that said, the scientists highlight increased air travel and rising GDP as troubling signs for the environment, and at the same time they suggest that people should go vegan and also that measures should be taken to reduce the world's population, although not everybody is on board with these suggestions.
That's not pro-climate. It's anti-human.
That the 11,000 scientists have just proposed a global eugenics program amounts to a massive discrediting of the climate change lobby in the minds of any moral person paying attention.
Thousands of the 11,000 scientists were simply people who filled in an online form, some students, some retired, few checked, including one called Mouse Mickey. Oops.
Well, we discussed the issue with the marine biologist who was one of the signatories, and with also too an economics professor. We asked them if any of the recommendations could be easily adopted.
Why aren't we going after those big polluters? Well, a lot of that actually gets wrapped up in some of the government's issues. So there is discussions about, what can government do? Do we put carbon tax in? Do we just simply regulate so industries can't do stuff? And that's where really you start to hit those wealthy corporations and those big earners and the big polluters as well.
So we could do it, but it would mean a drastic drop in energy consumption and a drastic drop in the standard of living. And it's something you could only impose on the more wealthy parts of society rather than on poor regions like Africa. To shift to sustainable agriculture would mean a drastic drop in yields and a drastic drop in the population we can support. So countries that rely upon agricultural exports, low level of manufacturing, they may be able to take care of themselves, but they might not be able to sustain the exports the rest of us depend upon.
Stabilization and a reduction in human population is going to have huge benefits for climate change and also other problems we're having as well.
So lucky, I just need to say something. Did you hear what this devil Edomite said? She said a huge reduce in population would have a positive effect on climate change. Now, this shows you that Esau is the damn devil, because all these people who are claiming that, let's reduce the population, they ain't saying, well, you know what, let me start with myself, let me start with my family, let's get to ourselves, and then the earth will be a better place. Because this is all bullshit anyway, because Ecclesiastes chapter 1 and 4 says, "One generation passeth away, and another generation cometh, but the earth abideth forever." So basically, the earth is fucked up because of Esau, because it's polluted the earth. But the fact is, now Esau's turning around and trying to say, "Oh well, you know what? We need to cull the population," which goes into their depopulation agenda, which is documented on the Georgia Guidestones. So I'll let this continue to play.
Things like water problems, so places are suffering from water loss and not getting enough. Human health issues, societal issues in general.
We're now going to try to reduce it from a population level of 7.5 billion. It is incredibly hard to do that. It certainly cannot be done voluntarily. It would involve compulsion, like China's now defunct one child per family policy, possibly even more draconian than that. So it's feasible to talk about it, but implementing it will take a type of politics we don't currently have. It may well take military dictatorships.
So if we empower women with education and also tools that could allow them to progress themselves in something that's moving beyond what was the traditional role of just being a mother, then we do see a lot less children being born.
Yeah, one of the dangers of a call to reduce population...
Did you hear what that devil said there? Giving people tools to empower themselves. So basically she's talking about things such as, abortion pills or straight up abortions, or, trying to encourage these women to be are all up in Esau's workplace and out of the home. I mean, Esau's the damn devil, man. I mean, I know a lot of people have been avoiding saying the name Esau now. They're referring to him as E. Well, I've got a new name for this devil. I'm going to call him Uneasy E, because he's uneasy that we're bringing out these scriptures, man. And these scriptures are cutting his ass to shreds. But let me play the end of this.
Is that it'll be seen by people in the third world who have been relatively impoverished and have higher birth rates than the West as blaming the poor for global warming and for the climate collapse.
Right, so that's the end of the article, right? So then I went into the comment section and look at some of what's written here. We've got this comment here 2 hours ago from a character named Michael, which says, "Start with Africa. That's where the population growth problem comes from." Now, just by reading that comment, I can tell this is written by an Edomite, because it's lucky I'm a bit under the weather. But Esau never says start with China, or start with Japan, or start with France, or start with Germany. It's always, oh, go back to Africa, you monkeys and all this kind of shit. Start with Africa. And that's the spirit of this damn devil. So let me get some scriptures to prove this point of what I'm saying here. I'm going to start with, let me see what I'll start with. Let me start with Genesis 27 and 41. Oh, I just saw another comment here. Look at this. By Charles Martel. "Tell black African to stop having kid first." See, there you go. Let me read that again. "Tell black African to stop having kid first." So he isn't talking about the so-called Edomites who are living in South Africa and stuff. He's specifically targeting the dark-skinned people who live in Africa. Now, not everybody who lives in Africa is an Israelite. You have Hamites there as well, and Cushites and whatever not. But the whole point is that this Esau's anger and his hatred is always directed towards Jake, particularly the Jake of the dark-skinned nations. So let me Salakia. My Bible's not open. Let me go to where are we? Here it is. So this is Genesis 27:41. "And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, The days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob." So basically Esau's wanting to kill us from back in Genesis 27:41. But it goes even back further to Genesis 4 with Cain and Abel. But let me get another precept out. Let me get Amos 1 and 11. So this says, thus saith Yahweh, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4 I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever. Yep. So that shows you the spirit of these damn devils. Let's go back to this comment section for a minute. See if there's any other, Edomites just running their mouths there. Yeah. I'm so lucky. I'm just looking for any of those kind of comments again. Look at this. This person's made a comment saying, Jewish bankers psyops to begin a global taxation structure. But look at the way he has to spell Jewish with an exclamation mark, because, as you know, YouTube's becoming this, labelled as JewTube now, because if you speak out anything against these so-called Jews, which aren't the true Jews of the Bible pertaining to Revelation chapter 2 and verse 9, and Revelation chapter 3 and verse 9, you're getting censored because they're coming against us and shutting down all our channels and trying to silence this truth. Yeah, let me get some more scriptures. Like I was just scrolling through these comments. Let's get the scriptures out. Keep this moving. So I want to bring out what. Let me see what I've got here. I think I'm going to bring out Isaiah 14 and 4. Here we go. So this is Isaiah 14 and 4, and it says, Thus shalt thou... Sorry, it's lucky. Start again. That thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon. Now, let me go up a bit. There's some beautiful scriptures here. Yeah, let me get this. Let me start from the top. Isaiah 14 and 1. It says, For Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and will set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave unto the house of Jacob. Meaning that we're going to be the top, and everybody else is going to be cleaving unto us. Yeah? And it says, The people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of Yahweh for servants and handmaids. So that's the judgment. You Edomites and all you other 17 nations, you're going to be our servants and handmaids. Yeah? And they shall take them captives whose captives they were, because we've been captive under all of you nations, and you've all had hatred for us pertaining to Psalm chapter 83. Now it's going to be our turn to have dominion and rulership over you, and this is going to be an everlasting rulership. So let's continue on. It says, let me read Isaiah 14 and 2 again from the top. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of Yahweh for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. And it shall come to pass in that day that Yahweh shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and thy fear, and from the hard bondage wherein thou wast made to serve. Now here's the point. It says, that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon, which is America, and say, How hath the oppressor ceased? The golden city is ceased. Yahweh hath broken the staff of the wicked, and the scepter of the rulers. Now here's the point. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger, is persecuted, and none hindereth. The whole earth is at rest and is quiet, and they break forth into singing. So basically, once Esau's taken out of power, all this climate, what do they call it? Climate change, global warming, all this kind of madness, it's all going to be put to bed, man. Ain't going to be no more of this, because Esau's the wicked, and he's the one who's polluting the environment. He's the one who's putting plastics in the waters. He's the one who's using plastics, period. He's the one who's burning the oils and taking the oils out of the earth. He's the one spraying the chemtrails. He's the one feeding these people GMOs. He's the one putting out these vaccinations. He's the one who's pushing abortions to that specifically targeted towards the Negro, Latino, Hispanic, and Native American. He's the one who's got all these diseases with his CDC, Center of Disease Control. Esau is the damn devil. And when he's taken out of power, the whole earth will be at rest. As it said here, I'm going to read it one more time before I close out. This is Isaiah chapter 14 verse 6. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted, none hindereth. The whole earth is at rest and is quiet, and they break forth into singing. So that's a future prophecy which is going to come to pass when Yahushua returns, who is the one that the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, and he establishes his kingdom on earth, which will be the kingdom of Israel, which is only for the Israelites, and the other 70 nations are going to be tributaries unto us, and our servants and our handmaids. So, with that, I'm going to close this lesson out. So, once again, giving all praise and all glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Hakodash, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well, and a sincere shalom to all your Arkim who are pushing this word around the globe in faith and in truth and in sincerity. And until next time, I'm able to do a lesson, Lord willing, I say shalom.